What is up, fam? It's Dean Soto. All right, let's talk about overcoming fears that block success. This is a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, especially because I had the imposter syndrome for quite a long time and still to this day wrestle with it. Okay. But for now, I just went to my nutritionist and he said, "Oh man, dude, from the last time you were here about a month ago, you lost 7 pounds of body fat and leaned out, actually gained some muscle." Boom. If you look at past videos, if you go to the Freedom in 5 Minutes channel, or if you look at past videos of me in different YouTube interviews and things like that, oh man, chunkosaurus. I'm still kind of chunky. I don't know. I got these little man boobies, but they're a little hard now. They're harder, much harder, and got the somewhat of muscles. Been doing calisthenics, which is great. Calisthenics. I never knew that you could actually build muscle and lose weight at the same time doing calisthenics. So calisthenics being pull-ups and push-ups and dips and squats and pistol squats and all these different things, different types, different forms of all of that. There's a channel out there called Brawly Gains. Brawly Gains, he gets out there and he's like, big black dude. And he only does calisthenics. All of his friends are huge and they only do calisthenics. They do weighted vest stuff, but they don't do any bodybuilding, and it's pretty amazing what they're able to do. Really cool. So part of this was I would never, ever share that, how fat I was. I still have a little bit of pudge right here, and I would never do that ever in the past because I had so many fears. Everything was fear. Fear of starting a business, fear of incorporating, fear of a whole bunch of different things. And now things are good, right? So before we get into all of this, talking about how to actually overcome those fears, how to get past those fears that block us from success, that block you from success. Takes 1 minute. Subscribe. Sorry, 1 second. 1 minute. Takes 1 second. Subscribe takes 2 seconds. Click the notification bell. Boom, 3 seconds. Super easy to do. Let's make that happen right now. And then also go check out prosulum.com, www.prosulum.com. If you have a business, if you want to get a virtual systems architect, which is basically a virtual assistant on steroids, on crack, and they will take your business to the next level. Okay. You can check out freedomin5minutes.com. Kind of also that, check out the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast on Apple, I think on Spotify, iHeartRadio, all those different places as well. So, all right, cool. So let's get into it. As time goes on, I might have little things that I pop up. I'm still getting used to how OBS works and all this other stuff. But for now, let's just talk. We're here. I'm talking, chatting. Boom. Things like this I would be afraid of. Block my success. What is this? This is a green screen. You can actually see the green on my hand, kind of outlining the hand. But Dean, why would you ever share that? Look how you look like you're a true professional, right? We all have our secrets. This is my office back here, that beautiful wood paneling that looks like from the 70s. I have about 20 acres and my office is outside of my house. So I actually have my own mobile mini, like my own, 12 by 40 foot office. It has its own bathroom, it's what you would see like on a construction site. And ultimately, at some point in time, I'm going to change this to have drywall. It's going to look like an amazing studio. But until then, I'll just use the good old green screen. Guess what? We all have our secrets. Nobody's perfect. And that is one of the things that keeps us from doing things that matter, right? One of the things that keeps us from doing things that matter. I was talking with a friend today, at jiu-jitsu. Really cool guy, one of the instructors, and he does some work on the side. He has a full-time job, but does some work on the side. And what we were talking about was how he has his business structured. And he shared with me that, oh, well, I do my full-time job, but then I have this other side business. The other side business is doing detail work in cars. I mean, the guy is amazing. If you have a dirty car, like really, really, really caked on dirt, nasty, roaches and all this other stuff, he'll take that car and make the inside look immaculate. Really good at what he does, and his personality fits it so well. So I asked him, what's the structure in your business? And he says, oh, well, I just get paid under the table. And I asked him why. Why are you getting paid under the table? Why are you doing things for cash? Well, I want to avoid taxes, which totally understandable, right? Totally understandable. I then asked him, well, with your full-time job, what are you doing with that? How much taxes do you pay at the end of the year with that? And it's several $1,000s in taxes at the end of the year. Now, what I'm about to say, just to warn you, this is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. I am not a certified financial planner. I'm not an accountant. I'm not anything. This is for educational purposes only, and is only my opinion. Okay? Totally 100% my opinion. That's it. Okay? You got it? You clear? All right. So I asked him how much you pay in taxes. He says several $1,000s in taxes. Actually, it sucks because I always have to pay taxes at the end of the year, or I don't get a return. It's one of the two, right? So then I said, well, would you pay $1,100 to save, let's just say it was $10,000 in taxes at the end of the year, to save $10,000 and to be able to use that for whatever you want? He's like, yeah, of course. And I said, okay, well, why don't you incorporate? And he's like, well, I don't know. I don't know the first thing about that. I don't know this. I'm kind of scared. I don't want to get too deep into the IRS stuff and everything like that. Right. Just texted me. Who is this? 805. I don't know who this is, but I'm going to check my voicemail right now. Oh, okay. I know what it is. We're good. And there's a reason why I'm checking it, because I have something important that I'm waiting for. Okay. So he's, hemming and hawing. And I said, well, here's the deal, dude, is that by literally just incorporating, by incorporating an LLC in California, yeah, it sucks. You're going to have to pay $800. And yeah, it sucks. You're going to have to pay to incorporate, which is usually around $400, maybe. Once you do, you're going to be able to expense so many different things that you're not expensing now. What? Pull path mark. Oh, okay. I know what that is. You're going to be able to expense so many things that you're not expensing now. And yet he was still scared, which is understandable. People do not want to mess with the IRS, right? It's funny, back in the day so I had this situation happen where I ended up forgetting to pay the IRS something. It was like my annual fee or whatever. It was the $800. I forgot to pay it. Mainly the IRS in California, the state. And actually, I take that back. There was one or two things that one was I forgot to pay for the $800, and I forgot to pay, which is the annual fee for California, and I forgot to pay for the for registering every 2 years that you have to do. And so in both circumstances, the first circumstance, actually, I was so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get reamed by the IRS. The California state is going to kill me, and they're gonna take my house. They're gonna do all this stuff. Well, I call, and the nicest lady comes on and I tell her the situation. She said, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Would you just like to pay pay for it now and pay the penalty? The penalty is like $5 or whatever. And I'm like, that's it? I just have to pay. You're not going to come audit me? You're not going to come banging down my door and making it to where I never, ever mess up ever again, or else. And they didn't. They literally just gave me the opportunity to pay, and that's that. And I'm thinking, okay, that's interesting. The next time it was, I forgot my Secretary of State thing. They shut down my business, like administratively. They basically put me on, what is it called, like freeze or whatever, and all this other stuff. And so I call, and once again, the lady's like, yeah, you owe $25. And once that's paid, you're right back to, you're good. And I'm thinking, wait, so I don't have to sign any forms. I don't have to do it. No, just go pay online. You should be good. So I go and pay online, and boom, you're all good. But I had all this fear, just like this guy, my friend, who has all this fear about incorporating, that now I'm going to have to pay all these taxes. Now I'm going to have to, all this stuff is going to happen. And guess what? By incorporating, by simply doing a little bit of paperwork and signing something, he literally will go from like 20 to 30% in taxable income to like, or he'd be at the 0% almost, 1%. And that's the way it normally is. It's funny, when I used to work for an aerospace company back in the day, I was doing 20, 30% off of what in taxes, what I was making. And then I incorporate, and I start expensing all the stuff that I'm allowed to expense. And I literally, the next go around when I was going to pay taxes, I look at him like, I'm looking at it going, how am I paying 1%? This doesn't make any sense. And my tax guy said, well, here's your income. Here's from your full-time job, from everything. And here's your expenses. You really only made, after expenses and everything like that, you really only made like $30,000 or $20,000 or $15,000, whatever it was. And I'm looking at him going, really? And that's interesting. And so that's why I only have to pay that much. And I got this huge return. For me, it was huge. And I was thinking, oh, crazy. Okay, so now I see how the game's played. There's so many things that we do that we fail to do because we are scared. We're scared of what we think is actually going to happen. So, some effective ways to get past that. Not just effective ways. I like doing things in one big fail swoop. Okay. Not just effective ways. I want to give you really the one way. Let's just say the one way to get past any fear. Okay. And this has worked for me several times. And if you go to the featured video, you can see, well, why am I listening to this guy? Who is this guy to tell me what to... You go look at the welcome video, you will get a little background of who I am, what I do, and why you should listen to me. The one effective way to get past your fear, and there are other ways too, what I'll talk about, but the one effective way to get past the fear that blocks you from success, one effective way is to always make a decision and try to actually do something. Scientists with the scientific method, scientists who are trying to figure out how something works, or why something is working, or why something is the way it is in the natural world, what do? They go and they plot and plan. They do plan a little bit. They plan, but then do they just write about what they think it's going to be, and then kind of dream about it, and then hope that somebody is going to tell them, oh, okay, you're ready to figure out this thing? No, they don't. What they do is they write out their hypothesis. They test their hypothesis. They actually do the thing. They actually take their hypothesis and put it into action. Then from there, they observe, they get data, and then they rework their hypothesis. Did it work? Why did it work? What was the data involved in that? See, most of the stuff that we're afraid of is stuff that it's in our head that we think is going to happen. If I incorporate, the IRS is going to crush me. in taxes. They're going to audit me, all these different things. When it's funny because the opposite is generally true. If you are a sole proprietor, if you're not incorporated, they look at you so much. They are out to get you. But if you are any type of corporation, the deeper you go into the whole corporation thing, the more you see that they leave you alone. The deeper you get, like full-on corporations like C Corps, they get left alone more than anything. Okay. So that being said, who are they going after? They're going after the little guy. They go after mainly, and it's not always the case, but they go after mainly the little guy who's trying to literally avoid taxes, rather than those who understand how corporate taxes work, how corporations work, how business works, how the tax system works. You don't have to cheat. You don't have to lie. You don't have to try and hide your income. You simply work with the system. You work with the chessboard. You play the game that they laid out, and they give you ways to limit, or to what is that called? They give you ways to reduce your taxable liability. Okay, you're there. It's not rocket surgery. Okay, so when you're afraid of something, whether it's starting a business, whether it's creating a standard operating system, whether it's outsourcing to a company like mine at prosulum.com, prosulum.com, rather than paying in California $17 an hour, $20 an hour to your average high school student who barely knows how to do anything, you can pay almost half that to us, and we give you someone who has like a master's degree, and they'll have a bachelor's degree at minimum, usually bachelor's, master's, sometimes even doctorate, depending on what your situation is, and is half the cost, does way more. But a lot of people, even with that, are afraid to outsource. Well, they're overseas. Well, what if they do something to my business? What if they don't understand my English? What if their culture is not a good fit for me? What if, and they have all these what ifs in their mind. And literally, since I've been doing this since 2007, this is for educational purposes only, I've never had a situation like that, knock on wood. That's what I have insurance for anyway. But the whole idea, the whole thing is that you have to get out and you have to actually see, is this for real or not? You can watch all the jiu-jitsu videos you want. You can watch all of the Muay Thai videos you want. But until you get into the ring and you actually start working with people, you will find that all of those videos did nothing for you except give you reference. They did help, but when you actually have to move your body and you actually have to do stuff, it's far different. Sometimes you think that I'm going to get crushed by these people. These people are going to hate me. They're going to punch me in the face. They're going to do whatever they can to make me feel like that I am small and everything like that. And you go to the gym, you work with them, and you're like, oh my gosh, these are the nicest people ever. I had the best workout of my life. I love jiu-jitsu, or I love Muay Thai. This is nice. Okay. That's what happened to me. I do jiu-jitsu. I'm thinking that these guys are going to absolutely just decimate me. And I was shocked that they are the nicest people in the world. Not everyone, but 99.9999% of them are. These fighters that you see in UFC and everything like that, some of the most grounded people, some of the most humble people that you could ever meet. Because they get punched in the face all the time. They know that there's somebody out there that's better than them. So they tend to be much more grounded than you would think. But you would never find that out. I would have never found that out if I stood in my car and was afraid to actually go in. If I just watched judo and jiu-jitsu and wrestling and Muay Thai and UFC videos all day long, but I actually didn't go in. It's the fear that we have of what we think is going to happen. As soon as our head gets involved, we start thinking this is what's going to happen. But you have to try. And this really comes as a result of trusting your heart and just going with the moment. going and trying and trusting the moment, getting in there, being present, and letting come what comes. The more you do that, the more success you're going to get. People ask me, I'll buy a $5,000 course here, a $10,000 course here, a $100,000 mastermind I'll join, and all these different things. And some work, some don't. Some people are like, that's a waste of money, right? For me, the faster I move and the faster I find out, the faster that I get to my next destination. Sure, it sucks. I don't like spending money and wasting it. It's not what I like, but I'll make the most out of it. I thought I was going to day trade. I wanted to day trade. I ended up paying a $5,000 course on how to day trade, and I ended up putting a lot of money into my trading account. And I decided after the $5,000 that I don't like to day trade, and I'm not going to. It takes a lot of my mental space. It takes a lot of time. And it's like one of the worst ways to make money, in my opinion. It's so annoying. I'm sure there's data traders out there that love it. I don't love it. I like setting and forgetting. I don't like setting and going, okay, sell. Okay, buy. Okay, no, I don't like it. It's not my thing. I'd rather be doing something else while more set. I can swing trade, but even that I don't want to do. It's just not my thing. I can make a lot more money in my business and scaling out my business, letting other people work for me, right? So, but I would not have known that. I would have constantly look at all these day traders and go, man, that's a really sexy thing to do. And that looks like easy money, right? Easy money. Once I did it and bought a course on how to do it and tried it for a while, I was like, this sucks. There's no way. So now I can move that energy to something else, in which I did. And it's been great. So if you want to get past your fears and overcome your success, let's just say 1, try something. You have to try it. You have to go out and do it. And 2, trust your heart. Just go and trust your heart. Get into it. See what it's all about. If you like it, great. If you don't, move on to the next thing. Or if it worked, great. If it didn't, move on to the next thing. The faster you do that, the faster you get this data, the faster you're going to get to your destination. Otherwise, you're going to sit there. You're going to wish, you're going to think, you're going to dream, you're going to say all these different, and you'll never move from where you're at. You'll see all these things that you're afraid of. If you're afraid of incorporating, thinking the tax man's going to come get you, you're going to spend years avoiding it. Then you're going to incorporate, educational purposes only. You're going to incorporate, and then you're going to find, oh my gosh, this is nothing what I thought. Start trying whatever it is you're afraid of. Get a coach, get a mentor, someone that could keep you accountable, and start trying it. Start doing. The faster you do it, the faster you're going to get to the next spot. All right, this is Dean Soto. Go check out prosulum.com, prosulum.com. Go check out Freedom in 5 Minutes podcasts. Type Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast on Apple iTunes, or go to freedomin5minutes.com. And I'll see you in the next video.